Today we gather to salute the 19 nations where Soroptimist members live, work, and serve. No matter our language or customs, we are united in our common mission to improve the lives of women and girls. As you listen to the anthem of each country and watch the screens, you'll see the diversity in each country and hear about the distinctive and signature trademarks of each nation. You are invited to listen to the achievements of our remarkable clubs in each country as they work to empower women and girls to help them live their dreams, whether it's through a club project or by nominating one of our inspiring award recipients. The efforts of Soroptimist in each country are amazing, and equally amazing are the women and girls we serve. They are the reason we are united in this room, and united as a federation, and united as 4 federations striving to live out our mission. It is a pleasure to salute the nations of Soroptimist International of the Americas. Argentina. From its tropical north to its glacial south, Argentina boasts diversity and beauty. The people are friendly, open, and willing to share a laugh with a new amigo. So do as Argentines do, accept the concept of time as fluid and draw in all that life brings to greet you. Some signature trademarks of Argentina you might recognize are the tango, Spanish colonial architecture, the Andes, and gauchos. In Argentina, SI Paso de Libres is giving women a chance for better lives with its club project. Soroptimist gives you back joy. Get trained in child caring. This program trains on average 20 women per year, women who are often heads of households, live below the poverty line, and lack skills to be competitive in the job market. They learn about child care practices, ways to detect violence and abuse, learn about illness prevention, and develop fun, educational activities for the children. After they receive their certificates in child care, the women increase their opportunities for jobs in this field and have a chance to better their lives and those of their families. Bolivia. Named after 19th century liberator Simon Bolivar, Bolivia is a country that offers dramatic geography, including the Amazonian basin, Lake Titicaca, and the Andes Mountains. It's the Western Hemisphere's highest, most isolated, and most rugged nation, and has been called the Tibet of the Americas. Some trademarks of Bolivia include bowler hats, colorful hand-woven shawls, and llamas. In Bolivia, SI Cochabamba in America del Sur region is using its $7,500 Soroptimist Club grant for women and girls to increase information about cancer and cancer resources for impoverished women and girls in their community. The project, called Esperanza de Vida, or Hope for Life, provides free screening exams to 300 women, as well as hospital referrals and resources to countless women. The club also works with oncologists and doctors to identify at-risk populations who will benefit from the project. Brazil is South America's most influential country, an economic giant, and one of the world's biggest democracies. It is the only Latin American nation that derives its language and culture from Portugal. The country's 2 largest cities, Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, each hold some 30 million people. Encompassing half the continent, Brazil has stretches of unexplored rainforests, islands with pristine tropical beaches, and endless rivers. Brazilian trademarks include the Amazon, Carnival, soccer, and the Bossa Nova. Nominated by SI Curitiba, Brazil, Amelia Menegasco is one of our Soroptimist Women's Opportunity Award Federation recipients for 2011. Suffering a life of sexual abuse and shame, Amelia bore 4 children as a result of an incestuous relationship with her father. Inside the home, the boys received preferential treatment while the girls received the worst of everything. At night, her father would lock her and her daughters in the bedroom with chains and a padlock. With tremendous courage, Amelia was finally able to reclaim her life at age 36, and today, thanks to the Women's Opportunity Award, she has finished her high school education. Because of the award and support from Soroptimist, she said, I can now offer my children a better life and raise them with respect and dignity. I was without hope, but now I can and want to start a new life. Canada's wild northern frontier and its distinct patchwork of people have created a country that is decidedly different than its southern neighbor. It's the combination of the country's Indigenous people, French and British, traditions that give Canada its complex, three-dimensional character. Most of the country's population lives in a fairly narrow strip that borders the United States. Some Canadian trademarks you might recognize are moose and bears, the Rockies, smoked salmon, and maple trees. Nominated by SI Guelph in Canada, Lisa Boyd was one of our 2010 Federation recipients of the Women's Opportunity Award. In 2002, Lisa found herself living in poverty on an isolated and derelict property with no plumbing, heat, phone, or vehicle. With 2 small babies, she was suffering abuse at the hands of her partner. Fearing for her life and her children at the hands of violent people to whom her partner was in drug-related debt, Lisa finally escaped. Today, she is pursuing her dream of becoming a social service worker. Receiving the award at the saluteMX 41st Annual Convention in San Francisco, Lisa said, "My children are an integral part of my journey and growth, and they were fortunate to be in the room when I received the first 2 awards. And when they turned and saw all the power in that room, they had a new view on the world and women." Chile. With a ribbon-like shape, Chile is among South America's richest countries, both economically and culturally. It boasts a myriad of sites and cultures, from post-Columbian architecture to glaciers, fields, and lakes. Most Chileans are of mixed Spanish and indigenous descent. The Incas were the first explorers of Chile. Signature trademarks of Chile include the Andean condor, street vendors, and great wine. In February 2010, the country suffered an earthquake registering 8.8 on the Richter scale. To assist with disaster recovery efforts, SI Santiago Chile received a 2010-2011 saluteMX Disaster Grant for Women and Girls for $20,000 to support women heads of households who were most vulnerable in the community of Huaycuraba. The funds were used to reconstruct the most severely damaged houses. Club members worked in partnership with the Huaycuraba municipality, including social workers, architects, and construction workers, to help with more than 40 women and their children reclaim their homes and lives. Colombia is the 4th largest country in South America and offers dramatically beautiful rainforests, mountains, beaches, lovely cities, and enchanting people. The country boasts a changing panorama of climate, architecture, wildlife, crafts, and music. Colombia has significant natural resources, and its diverse culture reflects the indigenous Indian, Spanish, and African origins of its people. Some trademarks of Colombia include coffee, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, lost cities, and soccer. Ana Silva Navarro was the 2009-2010 saluteMX Women's Opportunity Award recipient, nominated by the America del Sur region. When Anna was a child, her mother escaped an alcoholic and abusive husband and fled with Anna and her younger sister. Her mother worked hard to support herself and her daughter. When Anna was older, she began working to pay for her school tuition, balancing work with school. Undertaking many entrepreneurial projects, she studied business and marketing and later worked as a librarian and took computer technology classes. Anna has been using her Women's Opportunity Award to study engineering and today is living her dream for a better life. Ecuador's name comes from the equator, which divides it unequally, putting most of the country in the southern hemisphere. A wealth of vibrant indigenous cultures, colonial architecture, volcanic landscapes, and dense rainforests are packed into the borders of tiny Ecuador, the smallest Andean country in South America. Even with all the natural wonders found here, the friendly people make an Ecuadorian experience truly memorable. Some trademarks of Ecuador include the Galapagos Islands, panpipes, and the Andes. Severe rainstorms, then mudslides and floods, devastated many parts of Ibarra in early April of 2011, resulting in the loss of animal and human lives, homes, properties, and sources of work. Many women in that area worked in agriculture and breeding livestock and lost their livelihoods. Receiving a $15,300 Seroptimus Disaster Grant for Women and Girls, SI Ibarra stepped in to help with their project, Reconstructing Lives. As a result of the grant, 34 women, heads of households who were impacted, received a cage with 12 birds that produced small eggs for family consumption or to sell for profit. The women attended a training session for proper care of the birds, with the club receiving help from the mayor's office, the Red Cross that provided transportation of the birds to the women's homes, and from the Department of Agriculture for purchase of the birds. Guam. The island of Guam in the Western Pacific is Micronesia's largest, but small enough to explore in a day or two. The South is a must-see with its rural kaleidoscope of historical villages, stunning waterfalls, and pristine beaches. An unincorporated territory of the U.S., Guam depends on tourism, U.S. military spending, and the export of fish and handicrafts. The people of Guam offer a warm and welcoming attitude to all who visit. Some signature trademarks you'll find in Guam are crystal clear blue waters and white sand beaches, tourists walking past monolithic ancient latte stones, and Japanese World War II landmarks. SI Marianas holds an annual Mother's Day event to celebrate motherhood and honor the mothers and staff of the Ali Shelter, a safe haven for women and their children who have left abusive relationships and have nowhere else to go. Community programs assist the women in their new lives, and job skills training gives them the chance to get back on their feet and develop confidence. The annual event was started 4 years ago by SI Marianas past president Siska Hutapia and has grown to include a day filled with food, massages, yoga, skincare, and beauty sessions. The children enjoy face painting with a clown, singing and playing games. Members continue to donate their time, talents, and energy and monetary donations for this inspirational project. Japan. The land of the rising sun is a country of islands with more than 3/4 of the population living in sprawling cities on the coastal fringes of Japan's 4 mountainous wooded islands. You can spend weeks in the cities such as Kyoto and Nara, filled with temples, shrines, tea ceremonies, and museums packed with treasures from Japan's rich artistic heritage. Outside these cities, you'll find the natural wonders that cover the length and breadth of the archipelago. The real highlight of Japan, however, is the gracious hospitality of the people. When you think of Japan, these trademarks may come to mind: raw fish, sake, Japan's signature drink, and the famous Mount Fuji. Many nonprofits have established support systems for victims of domestic violence and human trafficking in Japan in recent years, but many immigrant women have not been able to make use of these services as a result of language barriers. SI Dazeifu and SI Fukuoka Kita, Japan Minami region, have been helping these women with their project, Multilingual Hotline for Victims of Domestic Violence and Human Trafficking. With a 2011-2012 Seroptimus Club grant of $10,000, the clubs plan to provide counseling services in multiple languages via a hotline. They will also fund training for the counselors and promotion of the hotline to immigrant victims so they are aware of services available to them. South Korea. An Asian economic giant, South Korea is a mosaic of old and new, rural folk villages, ancient stone pagodas, bustling modern cities, and densely forested mountains graced by some of Asia's finest Buddhist temples. Confucian ideals and democratic ideas mingle to form an identity based equal parts on language, national pride, and a fondness for nature's beauties. South Korea's trademarks include Big City Seoul, seafood and rice, and kimchi, a fiery pickled cabbage concoction. Youngleun-ju was the Korea region recipient of the 2009-2010 Seroptimus Women's Opportunity Award. Her marriage was the most painful experience of her life, she says, a time she suffered abuse from her husband and his family. Her husband was so physically abusive that at times, Youngleun ended up in the hospital. He was also an absentee father and openly unfaithful. Even though she felt that her life was not worth living, she continued to fight for her life for the sake of her children. Seeking aid from a women's shelter, she left her husband and his family, got a divorce, and started taking esthetician classes. She has been using her Women's Opportunity Award to obtain a skincare certificate that will allow her higher income to support her children. Her dream is to open a skincare store so she can continue to provide for her family. Mexico embodies a spicy, fiery passion for La Vida. This same spirit overflows from the country's vibrantly colorful art and music and its complex culture, history, and geography. Mexico's charm is a mix of modern and traditional, the ancient and the brand new. Mexicans value friendship, humor, honesty, hard work, and personal honor. In Mexico, you might recognize some of these distinctive trademarks: mariachis, Frida Kahlo, and cliff divers in Acapulco. Members of SI Santa Fe are helping mothers in Pablo Neruda School in Colonia Carlos Chavarria, Mexico, to earn a livelihood by conducting workshops in hairdressing and piñata making. The goal of the program is to provide women with skills to earn an income and potentially start a business. These skills can also be done from home, so mothers do not have to leave their children alone while they are working. SI Santa Fe donates all of the resources necessary for the courses and is also teaching another piñata making course to a group of 6th grade girls as part of the school's art curriculum. Panama is perhaps best known for its canal connecting the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. And while its name may be synonymous with the canal, this isthmus nation is proud of its Spanish heritage and boasts the largest rainforest in the Western Hemisphere outside of the Amazon basin. Some trademarks of Panama are Panama hats, the world's most famous shortcut, and drinking chichime, a delicious concoction of milk, sweet corn, cinnamon, and vanilla. SI David is helping teenage girls at risk with its project, Comprehensive Center for the Care of Teenage Girls in Social Risk. With the 2011-2012 Seroptimus Club grant for women and girls of $10,000, the club developed a center for at-risk teenage girls in the province of Chiriquí. Funds have been used to help equip and construct the center, with the club establishing a management board. The members of SI David directly participate in the educational and recreational activities of the center. Paraguay is a country of fascinating contrasts. It is rustic and sophisticated, boasting exotic natural reserves and massive man-made dams. Steamy subtropical rainforests contrast with the dry and wild frontier of northern Paraguay and the Chaco. The country has an unspoiled natural beauty, an abundance of wildlife, and some of the friendliest and most unaffected people in the world. The trademarks associated with Paraguay are jaguars in the jungle, handicrafts, and horse-drawn carts. In 2004, SI Millennium Asuncion founded the Violet Richardson School that teaches trade courses to underprivileged women. Many of the women attending the school are heads of households who learn the skills necessary to find a job and better their lives and those of their families. The club holds many fundraisers, including the Dining for a Dream event, to benefit the school and help pay for instructors. more than 400 people have attended the Dining for a Dream that has featured an orchestra performance, a silent auction, and a short film about the work of SI Millennium Asuncion in their local communities. The event has raised more than $15,000 to date, with more than 500 women graduating from the school. To the Quechua Indians, Peru means land of abundance. This term is personified in Peru's rich and varied heritage, including the ancient Indian capital of Cusco and the lost city of Machu Picchu. Peru is a land of ancient ruins, dense jungles, and a spectacular scenery, including the brooding Andean peaks and Lake Titicaca, the world's highest navigable lake. Trademarks that come to mind in Peru are colorful textiles, Incan runes, panpipes, and 16th century Spanish architecture. Since 1997, SI Cajamarca has held an ongoing program to help incarcerated women of the Huacariz Cajamarca jail. The club has worked hard to raise donations for the program that provides sewing machines and supplies to teach the woman a trade. This enables the women to easily re-enter society and the workforce after they are released from jail. Over the years, members have taught courses in embroidery, textiles, and various sewing techniques. The Philippines is the second largest archipelago in the world with more than 7,000 shimmering islands. A Spanish colony for more than 3 centuries, the territory was administered by the U.S. in the early 20th century. The culture of the Philippines is greatly influenced by the Chinese and American cultures as well as those of other countries. Some trademarks of the Philippines are ultra-hospitable people, barong shirts, and the bustling city of Manila. Women Forging an Uplifted Life is the project of SI Marilo that helps young mothers living in poverty through education using an informal, holistic learning system. Receiving a 2011-2012 Seroptimus Club grant for women and girls, the club is using the $10,000 to provide 25 young mothers with either an education or training to start a small-scale business, as well as computers and other necessary materials. Whether they choose education or business training, the mothers are increasing their skills and becoming more competitive in the job market. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rican culture is a mix of Spanish, African, and Taino traditions topped with a century-thick layer of American influence. A self-governing commonwealth that is part of the United States, Puerto Rico has a landscape that includes rainforests and a mild, tropical climate that makes it a popular tourist destination. Some trademarks of Puerto Rico are the rainforest of El Yunque, sampling the rums native to the area, and eating plantain dishes such as sofrito. Healthier pregnancies and maternal care for women is critical in many parts of the world where many infants are born with defects. SI San Juan stepped forward to help women with a project called Folic Acid Awareness after learning that there had been an increase in childbirths with neural tube defects in Puerto Rico. If pregnant women have access to just 400 milligrams of folic acid each day, these defects can be prevented. Club members met with officials from the Department of Health to obtain information to design a model program, which includes oral and written information, as well as discussion after watching a video. Taiwan is a modern country clinging to the fringes of an ancient culture. If you step outside chaotic Taipei, you'll discover why Taiwan is known as Ilhai Formosa, the beautiful island. Mountain peaks puncture a sea of clouds. Slick black volcanic rock wraps the coastlines and waterfalls shroud themselves in mist. Some trademarks of Taiwan include discovering the finest collection of Chinese artifacts in the world at Taipei's National Palace Museum, and taking in the spectacular scenic road that winds up the east coast of Taiwan between the mountains and the sea. Xu Man-ha Wang, who received the 2008-2009 Federation Women's Opportunity Award, often thought of giving up on her life. Her 2 children have multiple handicaps with severe autism and require constant care. Because of her caregiving responsibilities, she was unable to work outside of the home and struggled financially. To support herself, she learned how to make handicrafts and decided to sell her products through the internet, even though she had never used a computer in her life. Nominated by SI Taiwan Region and thanks to the Federation Award, she has been able to broaden the scope of her internet handicraft sales, work from her home, and care for her children. Schumann says, "I had the courage to apply for this award because I wish for a beautiful future." Venezuela is a country of striking beauty and one of epic proportions with snow-capped Andean peaks, Amazonian jungles, and beaches. It has South America's largest lake, Lake Maracaibo, and the 3rd longest river, Orinoco, and the highest waterfall in the world, Angel Falls. Venezuela is among the most urbanized countries in Latin America, with the vast majority of the people living in the cities of the north. Some trademarks of Venezuela are oil, the bustling city of Caracas, Angel Falls, and salsa. With its Seroptimus Club grant for women and girls of $10,000, SI El Hatillo started a project called Secure Your Future. The main goals of the program are to increase the financial options for women, reduce female poverty, encourage participation of women in the workforce, and improve the quality of the life of women involved in the program. The club holds their Tools for Life training program in a classroom shared with the National Youth Orchestra, and the classes have been expanded to 2 remodeled buildings. The United States. Finally, we salute our host country, the United States of America. The United States is also the home of our SIA president, Pat Donahue, and the president of Seroptimus International, Alice Wells. A work in progress, America calls out for exploration and discovery, from the concrete canyons of Manhattan to the beaches at Sunset in California, or on the magnificent islands of Hawaii. The journey across America never fails to be rewarding because of her people, whose energy and restless reinvention never cease. Ethnic and racial diversity, the melting pot, is celebrated as a core element of the American culture. Some American trademarks that distinguish us are camping in the Great American West, pounding the pavement in bustling New York City, touring mysterious Indian ruins in southwestern deserts, and crunching New England leaves in autumn. SI Fremont in Ohio, the Midwestern region, saw the problem of teen relationship abuse and violence and decided to do something about it. As the 2010-2011 Federation finalist for Seroptimus Celebrating Success, SI Fremont created the program they named TRAP, Teen Relationship Abuse Prevention. The goals are to spread awareness about teen dating violence concerns in the county, educate teens and adults about domestic violence concerns and the support services that are available to victims, as well as raise awareness for Ohio's TINA law that requires Ohio schools provide age-appropriate materials concerning teen relationship violence in grades 7 through 12. The club accomplished their goals in a variety of ways, including hosting speakers at local high schools, providing educators with support materials, distributing promotional materials to student groups, and raising awareness with a billboard seen by thousands of people. The success of the program is a result of the passion of SI Fremont as well as full participation by all of its members. Seroptimus has been an influential player in achieving progress for women and girls everywhere around the globe. As Seroptimus, we can be proud of our efforts on behalf of women and girls as we live out our mission to improve their lives in local communities and throughout the world. We can be proud that we are stepping into key positions of governmental and NGO leadership that are instrumental in shaping policies for women and girls. We can be proud that we are increasing the numbers of girls and women who have access to education, And we can be proud that we continue to work for parity in the workplace and freedom from violence. While national laws, cultures, and language shape how our Cubs implement our mission, we are united as saluteMX by a commitment to advancing the status of women that transcends national borders. Be proud of your country. Know your country is proud of you because you really are the best women, striving to achieve the best for women each and every day.